So on that note, if you realize this is really important, and one of our best speakers is sort of coming today, sort of to tackle that, and that's Prathamesh from Licious. Licious is one of those D2C brands which was a unicorn, the first unicorn D2C brand, and now he's recently joined another D2C brand, whenever he decides to unveil to us, we will share with you. But he's been really an expert in sort of figuring out scale and specifically around acquisition for D2C. And I also want to warn you, whenever we do this session, we never have enough time. So we might have to figure out another way to sort of get him back. And that's what we'll discuss with him. But on that note, Prathamesh is really experienced in doing this. And I can't thank him well enough for joining us again. And I want to sort of put our hands together and welcome Prathamesh to Expert. And Prathamesh, stage is yours.
बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा बोल लिया यार आपने. I hope I'm audible very clearly to everyone. Yeah, okay. So thank you. And so I'm ex-Licious. I am no more with Licious. And just to update Sharad and everyone, I was supposed to join a big D2C brand in the beauty personal care segment, but I did not join Sharad, and I have decided to start my own. And so I'll be in the same boat as the other 50 folks are here, where they are doing their own business, and we've already started working on that. Hopefully we should see something good coming out. We're trying to address a big problem. We're working on a used two-wheeler platform, building a used two-wheeler platform where we will be managing the inventory and selling it. So it's very early stage as of now. Okay, now just to give you guys a small background about me, I have been, I would say, very lucky in my life. I've been at the right place at the right time a couple of times. Started my journey with ICICI Bank, worked on the revamp of the website. This is 2013 to 2015, where the whole ICICI Bank was getting revamped from their focus of generating revenue from their own website rather than from the branches. This is how the retail banking was getting shifted. After that, I had my own company. I think this is where all of you, I have massive respect for founders. What you guys are doing, it's unimaginable, first of all. I have been there. मेरी खुद की company थी. We were building schools of extra activities. तभी offline ज़्यादा होता था business. We were hyper local. तो सुबह 4 बजे उठ के newspaper वाले के साथ बैठना, making sure he puts the leaflets correctly. And उठने के बाद नीचे 30 leaflets वो फेंक देता था, उसको फर्क नहीं पड़ता था. I used to actually pick up those and बच्चों के स्कूल के बाहर उनके कार्स के ऊपर लीफलेट लगाना पेरेंट्स का. I have been through all that. So even each rupee that you spend, I can understand how valuable that is. And if you don't get the calls after putting a newspaper ad in a local newspaper, you wait eagerly from morning 8 a.m. कि आज कॉल आएंगे, इतने डाउनलोड बढ़ेंगे, इतने वेबसाइट विजिट्स बढ़ेंगे. So I have been through that. So whatever I'm talking first as a founder, then as a growth marketer or जो भी बात बोल रहे हैं लोग की growth manager or whatever. I have been here. After that, I worked with Rummy Circle Games 24/7. This is where I understood how digital works, retention works, and how retention is fundamentally core to your business. मतलब यार कस्टमर से ट्रायल करवाना है तो बहुत आसान है. आप कोई ना कोई ऑफर रन कर लोगे. मतलब मैं लिशियस में था, और अगर आप देखोगे फ्रेश टू होम, हमारे कॉम्पिटिटर फ्रेश टू होम जैसे आपको चिकन करी कट दे देता है 1 रुपए में. इट्स वेरी इजी टू ड्राइव ट्रायल्स, बट द रियल गेम इज getting that customer back on the platform for the second time, for the third time, for the fourth time. That is where you guys will make money. That is where the whole LTV equation comes into picture. That's one. Uske baad, I understood retention. I worked there for 2 years. After that, I went to Milk Basket. Milk Basket is a daily grocery platform based in NCR, which was acquired by Jio. Their retention ka problem nahi tha, it was acquisition. It was a brand, building the brand. We were a challenger brand, Grofers, Big Basket, all the big players were there. Instamart तब नहीं था luckily, but we became the #1 brand in NCR. We scaled it to close to 1 lakh orders a day. When I joined, we were doing something around 5,000 to 6,000 orders per day, and this we did it in close to 1.5 years. So that is a kind of scale. After that, I came to Licious, joined in November 19. I've seen the company grow 10x. I've been heading growth, looking after acquisition, early retention, partnerships, product, multiple aspects. I've been through that growth journey. So that's what I was saying. I was very lucky to be at the right place at the right time, multiple times in my career. So that is what I've been doing. And whatever I have learned, matlab, over the last, I would say, 5-6 years, I have made a lot of mistakes, and I would just want all of you on this, all 50 of you, आप लोग वो mistake ना करें, and that's my goal. One of the common feedbacks that I've got in these sessions is बहुत ज़्यादा बात कर रहे हैं, and we don't have enough time. We'll have a follow-up session on this, so that is why we'll have session 1, session 2 here. I'll go a bit slower this time. That is one feedback. That is an area of improvement. Second, the question and answers, I will prefer to keep it for the last 15-20 minutes, Sharad. That works? Yeah, because typically what happens otherwise, addressing that one particular question, which is very relevant only for you, it digresses the whole session. I love having discussions. I'm open to discussions, but Sharad, just call out. मैं थोड़ा बहुत discussion चाहूँगा. मेरे को नहीं चाहिए कि एक monologue हो. If you believe that, if you believe that I am going off track, please just flag it off.
So every time we have less time for Prathamesh sessions. So two things: whenever we ask him questions, let's structure them for general benefit for everyone. As
yes, yeah.
Individual company questions like I am facing this problem because of this can be addressed at the end of the session, like maybe 15 minutes for Q&A.
Yeah. So I think with that in mind, I'll just give me a second. Let me just just give me a second. Let me just present it. I think, yeah, this is done. Yep. Okay. So yeah, okay. I think we are ready now. I'll just present my screen. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible with everyone.
Yeah, you can see.
Yeah, take it. Presentation mode. Yeah, so this is me. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया, my startup was called Infinity Minds. I'll now move quickly here. So I think few things that I want to cover over the next few minutes, hours or something is fundamentally, what is your fundamental revenue equation? A lot of times is we actually try to miss out on what we are actually chasing. Somebody's chasing valuation, somebody's chasing funding, somebody's chasing orders. So, and why is it important? We'll go in deeper into that. What is one metric that matters? So there are a lot of times, like I get up in the morning, I have set up a few reports, luckily with my interns, they send it manually to me. और सुबह उठ के पता चल जाता है कि बॉस कल का दिन कैसा रहेगा, या फिर दिन में मैं जब चेक करता था दिन कैसा जा रहा है, कैसा अच्छा जा रहा है, बुरा जा रहा है. So that, what is that one metric that you need to look at? It should be on the top of your mind. Third thing, very important, any business survives only because of a fundamental flywheel, something like a secret sauce, you might be calling it. Someone will call it a moat. मतलब बहुत सारे नाम है यार funding world में. But that flywheel, how do you grow? सबको growth चाहिए. अपन सब growth के लिए हैं. अगर अपने को normal business करनी रहती तो शायद हम कुछ और करते. So I think that flywheel is what helps you grow. Now the next part is where we're talking about the growth hacks. Now I've kept a very catchy keyword, growth hack. Suddenly जो लोग शायद यहाँ वहाँ ध्यान दे रहे थे growth hack सुनते, वो लोग भी वापस आ जाएंगे सेशन में. It's just a catchy keyword for everyone. Growth experiments है और कुछ नहीं. मैंने क्या किया है, what has worked for me, what has not worked for me. I just want to share that very openly with all of you. That is the whole idea about it. I'll be talking about something about under-leveraged channels of growth. I know सबसे बड़ा pain point सब लोग performance marketing की बात करें. We will be covering that, but there are some under-leveraged channels of growth, which while our focus is a lot on Google, a lot on Facebook, a lot, for example, on affiliate marketing, SMS marketing, and something else, both there are other things that can help you drive growth, which is helping other companies around you get at a lower cost. So we'll be focusing on that as well. क्योंकि आप Google, Facebook पे करने के बाद बॉस एक जगह पे आके आप प्लेटो ही हो जाते हो. ऐसा नहीं है यार, मतलब देयर आर कंपनीज जिन्होंने मतलब 500 करोड़ 1000 करोड़ रेज किए, पर उनके मार्केटिंग बजट वैसे इंक्रीज नहीं हुआ. देयर इज अ रीजन व्हाई, बिकॉज़ योर इवेंचुअली परफॉर्मेंस मार्केटिंग प्लेटूज. बट देयर आर, दैट्स द होल आइडिया अबाउट ग्रोइंग अदर चैनल्स. And then we'll obviously talk about certain performance marketing hacks, some cheat sheet, which I'll be sharing with you. This is typically over the next 3 hours that we'll be covering. आज 3 घंटे का session नहीं होगा, we'll split it into 2. So first question, I hope everybody has a pen or paper or a Google sheet in front of them or something that you have in front. Please get it immediately. I'm going to ask you, what is the revenue equation? And this is where I would want to spend some time. Revenue equation simple है, boss मेरा जो धंधा हो रहा है, how do I define it? How do I define it? मतलब आज अगर मैं कोई कंपनी हूँ, I might simply say यार मेरा डेली ऑर्डर 100 ऑर्डर होते हैं, मेरा 500 रुपए का AOE है, मेरा डेली धंधा 50,000 रुपीस का है. This can be one revenue equation. Very simple. For someone, I believe a lot of people are sharing, getting their revenue out of marketplaces. Somebody might say, my revenue equation is what I make on Cred, what I make on Amazon, what I make on Flipkart, what I make on my website. That's my revenue equation. So I just want all of you just to spend the next 3 minutes. Sabko pata hai apna revenue. Just write it down. Just write it down. And I'm going to be a really bad person, or I'm gonna ask the people who have not put on their video. मैं उनको पूछूंगा भाई आपका रेवेन्यू इक्वेशन क्या है. तो वो ज्यादा लोग का वीडियो दिख नहीं रहा है. ये मेरा इंटरनेट खराब है या
नहीं? अच्छा हैक है और अभी लोग का वीडियो आना चालू हो गया.
पहला ये तो okay. So I'm also a teacher at Jamnalal Bajaj, so I've done this and I've seen that work very well with me. तो okay क्या यार ये अभी भी लोगों ने चालू नहीं किया, तो इन्हीं को पकड़ूंगा. तो I'm gonna randomly call out, तो कोई बुरा मत मानिएगा. Okay, my favorite, Manjunath, Happy Hens, or something related to what I worked before. I would love to know what is your revenue equation. नहीं Manjunath, है कि गए?
You want to unmute and just answer?
और उसके बाद मैं पहले ही बोल देता हूँ. I think इसके पहले उसके बाद Scoops की वेदिका, just next one, and then Alok Kosha Yoga.
Yeah, can you hear me now, Prathamesh?
Yeah, Manjunath, yeah.
Yeah. So we for me the D2C is a completely a new segment, so that's the reason I'm also here. So sometimes when you also talk about all these jargons, I'm actually noting down the jargons and trying to Google what it is. Actually, that's pretty much my takeaway, one of my biggest takeaway in this session. However, definitely it's been great. But to answer your question, my revenue equations are right now we're focusing on the Horeca, and of course stores has always been our main revenue generating area. And this Horeca space, we've been working on this for the last 5 years, and now we've started to get some traction on that space, and parallelly we are building our D2C.
So to paraphrase better, would I say revenue of Happy Hens is equal to that formula equation agar banana, would it be revenue from the Horeca segment plus revenue from the offline stores that we get?
Correct. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That way. And then Horeca, probably you might be breaking it into hotels, certain restaurants,
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, and right now about 5% we have D2C is contributing, and that's what I want to make it to 50-50 now. So that's the whole.
Fair. So D2C, do you mean do you have an offline store, or you're talking about an online store as well?
It's an online store. Right now it's through website, and our app is under development right now. Yeah.
Okay. Fair. I think, see, this is where, just to bring on that, any brand, any D2C brand that you look at right now, everybody has these different channels, and the way they want to focus, if you see revenue from their own website, revenue from the app, plus revenue from your different channels, be it Amazon, Flipkart, or a Cred, or a Dunzo, or a Swiggy if you're a food brand as well. I think this becomes very important, where you are able to manage it at different level. Some brands, for example, would even look at it at a category level. For example, if it was Happy Hens ke jagah pe, it could be very simply, if I were to look at Swiggy Instamart, they might look at their revenue, for example, fruits, vegetables से कितना आता है, आपके personal care brand से कैसा आता है. So they talk about that. So the revenue equation, one is category led, one is, for example, channel led, from which channels that you are getting. Fair, Manjunath. I think that is what, and why this is important is every morning when you get up, you see how your own store business is growing or not. And then whether you want to focus, because every business has to keep a certain percentage of revenue coming from each brand, because this, I'm sure in a few months, you might go for funding, and the multiple that you get in your funding for building your own app website versus dependent on a marketplace, यहाँ पे आपके own app website पे multiple बहुत ज़्यादा मिलता है, because you own the first party data. Customer के बारे में आपको सब कुछ पता है, and it's not just about the data. ठीक है, phone number, email ID आज तो यार free के भाव में मिलते हैं. Question ये है, you know those insights of a customer is leaving your platform and going to a competitor. If a customer is not getting retained, you know the problem statements, why is he not coming. Second, उसके बाद you can actually work on building your product मतलब मैं physical product बोल रहा हूँ, app product की भी बात कर रहा हूँ. You can actually develop on improving them. Third cheese, when you are in a marketplace, it's entirely a price game. Any person, any consumer, if you look at, सबसे पहले क्या था, sort by price, low to high. That's the problem वहाँ पे. Second, you're dependent on the tap वहाँ पे यार. Amazon ने, Flipkart ने, यार Swiggy, Instamart ने कल तुम्हारी listing को नीचे कर दिया. तुम्हें algorithm के नाम पे बोलेंगे यार, internally वो देखेंगे जिस पे ज़्यादा margin मिलता है वही होगा. किराना स्टोर वाला वही करता था यार वहाँ पे. चावल वो अपना दावत की जगह पे वो अपना खुला हुआ चावल रखता है तो उसको मार्जिन ज्यादा मिलता था. It's as simple as that. That's what these guys are gonna do. उसके ऊपर डिपेंडेंट होने से जरूरी है आपका D2C चैनल ग्रो हो. So I'm glad Manjunath is actually working on it. Why that is important? Yeah, I think Scoopski, we'll quickly look at your.
Hi, I'm so sorry. My internet is giving a lot of problems. That's why I couldn't keep the camera on. But my question is orders from a website, Amazon, Cred, and retail.
So again, your revenue equation would be website revenue plus marketplace revenue, and then further website will be orders into AOV, and marketplace will be Cred plus Amazon plus Flipkart, right? That is how you will be doing.
Plus offline retail.
Plus offline as well. So I'll say website plus online marketplace plus offline is what you're looking at. Right. I think that's what we were discussing. Like, this is how actually you need to break it down. And daily morning, once you get up, you actually need to see this revenue in different parameters. I'll just share one key metrics tracker that we've been using religiously. It's something that every morning you get up and it gives you a pulse. जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना, daily हमारा complete blood count CBC report होता है वैसे. You just look at it and you know something is going wrong. यहाँ पे ये फटा है, यहाँ पे वो फटा है. So we'll share that on that. Thank you, Vedika. Next, I think we had Kosha Yoga.
Yeah, hi, Prathamesh.
Hi. Hi.
So my revenue equation is fairly simple. We do 90% directly from our website.
Wow.
The balance 10% is marketplaces and a few of our offline partners. So for us, I think it's pretty straightforward.
Wow, I think that is phenomenal, Alok. I think right now most of the companies, that problem that they face, and this is where I want to throw some light out there. For example, where Alok just mentioned, Alok, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so where Alok just mentioned 90% of his own revenue coming from the own website, which implies that you are under leveraging your marketplace. Typically, if you see a lot of people that I've spoken in D2C, it's typically the other way around. The 80% business comes from the marketplace, 20% comes from the website. If your 90% is coming from that, which means your marketplace model is something that you need to really, really work on. But उस पे इतना ज़्यादा scale बचा हुआ है, Alok. For my immediate suggestion to you would be, and to all the people who have this split, where they are talking about, for example, 80% coming in from their own website, you are letting go of a huge scale जो opportunity आपके लिए पड़ी है वहाँ पे. Marketplace business could be really big, really huge, and I'm sure Arindam ने तो आज offline की बात की, Sandesh who spoke about Amazon ads, and I believe Sharad, you'll have some session where we'll talk about building the marketplace channel really well, optimizing it. How do you get people from your own marketplace channel to your own portal? That is what we'll be talking about in future sessions, but focusing on that would be critical. So with that, I think the first revenue equation wala part, I think this is all that we have seen here. As we've seen, orders into AOV, sum of all category revenue, sum of all platforms revenue, probably for a housing product or a shadi, it's a one-time sale. revenue is equal to one time sale plus subscription. For example, cars होती है जहाँ पे where somebody selling cars, there's after sale services, some subscription out there. Revenue equation for a daily hunt or someone will be ad revenue, which is a function of users into time spent. Now, why I'm saying this is again becomes important is how you're going to structure your team. Like I think the Scoopski, Vedika mentioned about Scoopski. She can design her team now where somebody is in charge of the D2C website revenue, somebody is in charge of cred revenue, somebody is in charge of Amazon revenue, somebody is in charge of offline revenue. This is how you're going to build your team structure going forward. If you know a lot of big companies, like for example, when I came where I worked at Rummy Circle or Milk Basket, our revenue equation was very simply orders into AOV, which is, and this orders into AOV further breaks down into first time orders, repeat orders. That's where acquisition and retention come into play. Customer ko pehli baar la diya, our teams were designed in that way. So for example, a growth team typically has an acquisition manager, there's a retention manager, there's somebody who looks after merchandising. And all your initiatives, for example, if you're doing a brand campaign, if you're doing a performance marketing campaign, it gets divided into that. Your P&L starts showing acquisition mein kitna spend ho raha hai, retention mein kitna spend ho raha hai. So all your initiative at an org level then get aligned कि boss मेरे को growth लानी है, तो वो acquisition को focus करना है, retention को focus करना है. This is what I have seen, for example, at Rummy Circle, which is your own platform business. Again, Milk Basket, it's completely own platform business. Now, the second equation that I talk about now, this is something that I would want everyone just to spend some time. This is certain mistake that a lot of companies do. They move from orders into AOV to, for example, a category-based revenue. Now, imagine as a Milk Basket, tomorrow I just squash the whole orders into AOV wala equation, and I say at Milk Basket, my revenue is equal to sum of fruits revenue, vegetable revenue, milk, dairy revenue, and something. Now, all my initiatives are designed कि बॉस मेरे कैटेगरी का धंधा बढ़ते जाना चाहिए. प्रॉब्लम ये होती है जब आप कैटेगरी के लिए पहले सोचोगे, उसके बाद आपका खुद का प्लेटफॉर्म का धंधे के ऊपर आप फोकस नहीं कर रहे. And I have seen companies actually degrowing when they prioritize category over platform. So if you're a platform who is growing their own website, please don't go with the category revenue wala approach. मैंने देखा it has failed really miserably. मत करना, degrowth आ जाती है, आपका धंधा गिर जाएगा. So as a brand, if you are a master brand with multiple different categories, please focus on growing the platform. That is first fundamental thing that I would say. Matlab, any example that I can think of, I think where your opinion is something, I think where your opinion, Divesh is there, right?
Yeah.
Divesh?
Hi, Divesh. I'm there.
Yeah. So Divesh, I think आपके इसमें कैसे t-shirts आप बेचते हो, and then I know about your t-shirts, and
so it's a customized fashion brand. So we have multiple product ranges: kids, adults, kids, and women, all three combined. Western
kids and women. Okay, तो तीनों का TG अलग हो गया. तीनों का TG अलग है तो ठीक है. आप then you can look at kids के लिए अलग category, वो अलग category, and I think in that it works very well because your TG is completely different.
Yes.
I wanted to give an example. For example, someone, if there is an overlap, जैसे Milk Basket के case में, the same consumer is gonna buy milk, the same consumer is gonna buy fruits, the same consumer is gonna buy vegetables, same consumer is gonna buy household products. And if that is getting focused rather than growing the platform, that is where the degrowth comes. So I hope it's clear so far why this is important, how you can apply it. Any questions? We can spend 2-3 minutes on that. You can just unmute and just say directly.
Good, very good.
We are good. No questions. Yeah, तो बहुत ही simple. Okay, Vedika, unmute and go ahead, please.
I just have one question. So when you are working across multiple categories, there could be some categories that you have you have a great margin and then some with a very low margin. So at that point, do you think focusing on categories should work more?
Just थोड़ा सा और elaborate करेंगे. मतलब आपके product के लिए है, I'm presuming scoop scheme है.
Right. So for example, we have two categories as of now on our website. Number one is cookie doughs and one is chocolate powders. Now we have a considerable margin in chocolate powders and very minimal in cookie doughs because that was sort of created from a retail front perspective. But again, drive a lot of sales through our online platform. So at that point, do you think it makes more sense to focus on the category which has a greater margin?
No. So in fact, I'll मतलब ये गलती ना की है. मत करना वेदिका ये गलती. See, margin का जो game है ना, it's a cross sell game which comes. I think that is the next part that I am talking about. or if you look at McDonald's or if you look at any other place, आपका एक ना एंकर प्रोडक्ट होगा. मैकडॉनल्ड्स में कालू टिक्की वो बेचता है 20 रुपए में. आई एम श्योर आपने पढ़ी होगी केस, इट्स नॉट इवन मेकिंग एनी मनी आउट देयर, बट दिस इज अ वेरी गुड एक्विजिशन ड्राइवर फॉर देम. और एनी कंपनी, मिल्क बास्केट में दूध के ऊपर तो हम धंधा बनाते ही नहीं थे, मतलब कुछ धंधा ही नहीं था, बट इट वाज अ वेरी गुड एक्विजिशन ड्राइवर गेटिंग देम टू द मिल्क बास्केट प्लेटफॉर्म. उसके बाद हम क्रॉस सेल करते थे. नाउ फॉर यू इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू बिल्ड दैट ब्रांड. स्कूप्स की एट द फर्स्ट प्लेस वाज आप आ जाओ, जस्ट ट्राई इट आउट एंड देन यू गो अबाउट बिल्डिंग द मार्जिन देयर. So what I would recommend you, primarily because I have seen that play at other companies as well, कि ये जो margin drivers है ना, keep it for cross sell. Have that particular category. Like for example, if there's any other particular milk basket, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया दूध था, या फिर Rummy Circle में, I'll give you an example. If you look at Dream11 even today, they advertise यार 1-1 करोड़ का tournament है, 5-5 करोड़ का tournament है. These are very liquidity drivers just to get the people on the platform. And then actually drive those cross sell. हमारे इसमें भी फ्रूट्स और वेजिटेबल्स काफी हाई मार्जिन थे, बट हमने, अगर आप आज मिल्क बास्केट का फेसबुक एड लाइब्रेरी आप जाके देखोगे, इट ओनली टॉक्स अबाउट मिल्क बिकॉज दैट्स अ कमोडिटी एंड एवरीबॉडी वांट्स फॉर दैट कन्वीनियंस. तो माय रिकमेंडेशन रही, मार्जिन को आप थोड़ा सा सेकंड रखो, पहले आप अपनी प्लेटफॉर्म ग्रोथ की फोकस पे लाइए, एक बार कस्टमर को आ जाने दीजिए, देन यू कैन एक्चुअली फोकस ऑन दैट. Did I answer your question, Vidika?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you so much.
Yeah, just Shelly.
Yeah, hi Prathamesh. So my question was, the Earth Collective is a hair care brand, hair only focused brand. So we have various categories. Like in my segment, the category would be like shampoo, conditioner. Then we have these specific leave-in treatments which are targeted at specific concerns. So currently what we are doing, initial phase, we had done branding. We obviously branding, we do simultaneously, but we also focus on specific product marketing. So what you mean is our focus should be more on branding rather than like individual categories?
Okay, so I just paraphrase this question for everyone. You are a brand and there is certain, so branding, when you say Shelly, are you talking about platform first or you're talking about category first? Is that your question when you say marketing?
Yeah, like one is we platform, as in, I mean, you know, emphasizing on being a hair care brand, or we go on categories like say care category would be shampoo and conditioner, and treatment category.
Sure. I think see, every funnel, there will be trials that will come. At Milk Basket again, where at NCR that we were close to first time trialists, 50% were ordering, I think, some Amul or Mother Dairy brand 500 ml toned milk, वो particular product रहता था. And that's true for most of the brands that you guys are working here. If you see, आपका एक प्रोडक्ट रहेगा जो हीरो प्रोडक्ट रहेगा, जैसे मैं मैकडॉनल्ड्स में कालू टिक्की का बोल रहा हूँ. The whole idea is keeping that product as a hero along with your core proposition that you're talking about, Earth Collective. Obviously, there is something better than a Pantene Pro V or something that you are giving here. With that proposition, I think you should drive. The second part of the question, whether you want to go about branding or something else, I think as a platform, you should actually convey your platform USP first. It's not just true about Earth Collective, for everyone out here. Your platform proposition should be highlighted. Why do you think? And along with the product that you have. But in terms of priority, always I would say have your platform proposition ahead, because that is why the customer is going to come. That is why the customer is going to stick to you rather than just leading. But eventually, if you look at our whole communication and everything, आज भी मिल्क बास्केट का हम लोग वही नेस्ले का एक्चुअली पाउच डालते थे. इनफैक्ट हमारे फेसबुक में click through rates actually jumped by 25 to 28% जब हमने जो हमारे SKUs जो सबसे ज्यादा बिकते थे एक्विजिशन में, वो सब हमने डालने चालू किए. It was as simple as that. Yeah, Sainath.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Prathamesh. So I run a men's personal care brand, right? And in which I would say categories would be body and hair. And as you said, when we started off, we really were focusing heavily on just our own website. We really wanted to just build and bring the entire audience just on our website. And we were in a niche, and I would say a double niche, being a premium brand. And thereby, after a period of time, really Facebook and Google, actually Facebook moreover than Google, was not bringing in any revenue. Our ROAS were below 1 and didn't make any sense to continue.
Right.
And we now are slowly moving towards marketplaces. So what earlier was 90 and 10 is now becoming the reverse, and 80 and 20. So marketplaces have become 80 and otherwise 20. So just wanted to understand how that would be, like, how should I look at revenue now?
So I think this is a question that Sainath, that every one of you, I think where Kosha Yoga guy Alok spoke, and that is one journey everybody will go through. I'm glad you asked this question, Sainath. And this is, I'll just paraphrase in a very generic format. You started off, you were website first, you saw your ROS not making sense, you moved to a marketplace model, and right now you're a marketplace model where you're 80-20. What next from there? So this is a typical journey that you will see for all the D2C brands who are sitting here. So first of all, use your marketplace channel to drive traffic to your website. I think you will have to find out a way how you get them. Be it packaging, for example, Wow Cosmetics does a lot, Mama Earth does a lot, where they actually try to move there to the website app. They have developed loyalty programs. In fact, if Arindam would have spoke at Atomberg, they actually do this where they ask you to do the registration on their own website. Eventually, this is how they drive actually. Or if you look at Wakefit does it beautifully. A Wakefit product on Amazon, for example, if it's selling for 8,500 on their website, it's selling for 8,500, but then there is a bank discount that they've applied out there, where Amazon or Flipkart can't do anything about it. Or for example, there's a loyalty program like that eventually brings customers to their own platform. Now, a lot of D2C brands, for example, Fresh to Home does this VIP program. If you see, if you're a Fresh to Home customer eating meat, where Fresh to Home sells their products obviously on marketplaces, but at the same time, if you look at their VIP program where you get a free delivery, they actually do that. So the whole point is you have to find that how it's a very good channel. There's a huge scale, probably through your packaging. One of the most efficient ways is packaging. People are open to QR codes. Adding those extra layer of benefits. Very simply, loyalty program, agar aapke isme something frequency hai, something a product can be used for a 1 month, 2 months, and again they come back. Why they should buy it from your own website? So loyalty program is one. Second, bank offers. That's really under leverage, and I'm glad that you called it out. If you guys are not doing bank offers, partnership offers, boss, you guys are losing out on that. That's one of the under leverage channels that I was going to speak about. Focus on that. Just look at the Wakefit website. Copy करो यार. अपन लोगों में से कोई भी स्टीव जॉब्स नहीं है. Wakefit ने बहुत अच्छे से किया हुआ है. बाकी बड़ी कंपनी ने किया हुआ है. स्विगी का UI UX बहुत ब्यूटीफुल है यार. सारी की सारी ऐप कंपनीज वही करती है. स्विगी में क्या चल रहा है, अमेजॉन पे क्या चल रहा है, फ्लिपकार्ट, मिंत्रा पे क्या चल रहा है, जस्ट वो देखो. एंड इवेंचुअली ट्राई टू मूव अगेन बैक टू दैट 75-25 where 75% is your own website. Got it. Thank you. Chalo. So I think just a summing up of this, org structure is important. Org structure will be decided based on your revenue equation. Aapke initiatives will be decided your revenue equation. The important part of the revenue equation, if your revenue equation is the first one, please अपने retention देखना चालू करो boss. If you're not looking at your retention, you're missing out on something. Revenue आता रहेगा, trialist आते रहेंगे, धंधा बनता रहेगा. अगर customer वापस नहीं आ रहा है, फट जाएगी. Revenue is sum of all category revenue. Like I think Vedika mentioned, if there's a high margin revenue, if there's a particular category which we used to call in our MBA cash cow है, उसका growth कैसे हो रहा है, वो कहीं रुक तो नहीं रहा है. You have to ensure that drives. And if it's a platform revenue वाला है, please अपना own platform का revenue बिल्कुल देखना, उसको miss out मत करना. That becomes very important. यही 3 टाइप के होते हैं. Now, while we are at this, there's something that I want to share with all of you. Just a sec. मैं थोड़ा Zoom में weak हूँ. Yes. This is something that I wanted to share with all of you. Key metrics tracker. I'll be sharing with each one of you. किसी को copy paste screenshot करने की जरूरत नहीं है. एक अच्छे से Excel download करके दे दूँगा. What I'm saying is, what are your overall revenue metrics? जो चीजें हमने बोली है आपके इसमें, मैंने orders AOV के लिए बनाया, जैसे कि आपका platform है. Please feel free to edit it for your own. Make sure आपका जो MIS का टीम है, somebody एक intern है, कोई भी बंदा है, every morning by 10 AM he's sharing that with you. इसमें simple चीज है, D-7 fair enough. आपका week typically Monday को start होना चाहिए. अगर नहीं हो रहा है, please try करो Monday को. Universally सारे investors वही देखते हैं. Monday to Sunday सबका week होता है. D-7 मतलब अगर आज Wednesday है, आज Wednesday को मेरा कितना धंधा हुआ, last Wednesday को कितना हुआ था, कितना हो रहा है growth as compared to last week same day. Week to date मतलब Monday to Wednesday कितना हुआ, last week to date कितना हुआ, same. MTD LMTD clear है, बहुत ही clear है यहाँ पे. जो jargons हैं और something, revenue सबको पता है, order सबको पता है, AOE सबको पता है, first time users कितने आए, repeat users कितने आए, वो अपने को पता है. Discount % कितना दिया बॉस, वो प्लीज देखते रहना. किसी दिन अचानक फट जाता है, कोई कूपन कोड आपका कोई एक कूपन वेबसाइट कूपन राजा पे चला जाता है, suddenly your discount is out of the question. Please make sure कि आपका discount % आप daily level पे देख रहे हो. Daily active users, how many are coming? These are people who are opening the app or who are on the page, आपके website के page पे. New का अलग, repeat का अलग देखते रहिए. Conversion percent कोई देखता नहीं है, please देखा करो. सबसे ज़्यादा under leveraged है, whether how you are able to increase the conversion. तो conversion percent is very simply, अगर नहीं पता है, ऐप ओपन हुआ है, उसमें से कितने लोगों ने फाइनली सक्सेसफुली परचेज किया है, वेबसाइट पे आया है, विजिट हुआ है, सेशन है, उसमें से कितने लोगों ने सक्सेसफुली परचेज किया. वेरी सिंपल. आपके वेबसाइट के लिए 1%, 1.5%, 2% है. इसको कंटिन्यूसली आप कैसे इंप्रूव करते रहोगे. ठीक है. इन अ सिमिलर वे मैंने यहाँ पे आपको दिखाया, यहाँ पे एक्विजिशन के क्या मेट्रिक्स है, आपका कितना चल रहा है, आपका सिमिलरली रिटेंशन के क्या मेट्रिक्स है. बहुत ही स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड मेट्रिक्स है. वी कैन, व्हाट वी कैन डू इज, आई शेयर दिस विद ऑल ऑफ यू, absorb it. What we are going to do is, in the next session when we gather, we are going to take doubts on this. We won't spend much time on it. इसमें acquisition retention तो बहुत ही straight forward metrics है. अगर आपकी revenue equation बोलती है it's a sum of platform revenue, तो platform के लिए क्या क्या आपके metrics है आप please डाल दीजिए. Now next one, very very important, बॉस ये metric please देखा करो. ये as a founder आपका खून खोलना चाहिए, दिल रोना चाहिए. अगर आपका ऑर्डर टू कॉन्टैक्ट पर्सन, मतलब O2C, मतलब अगर आपके 100 ऑर्डर हुए हैं बट उसमें से 5 ऑर्डर में कस्टमर आर कनेक्टिंग विद यू फॉर एनी स्पेसिफिक रीजन, वेयर इज माय ऑर्डर, व्हाट हैपेंड टू माय ऑर्डर, मेरा ऑर्डर में साइज मैंने मीडियम मंगवाया था, मेरे को एक्सेल मिला, आपने यहाँ पे डिस्काउंट ज्यादा दिया है क्रेडिट पे, मैंने ले लिया 100 रुपए में, आपने क्रेडिट पे 50 रुपए पे बेच दिया. एनी कॉन्टैक्ट पर्सन, इफ दिस नंबर इज मोर देन 3% और 5%, प्लीज लिख लो, अपनी ग्रोथ बंद कर देना. देयर वाज अ टाइम मेरे प्रीवियस कंपनी में, मिल्क बास्केट में, ये O2C पर्सन 5% के ऊपर चला गया था. बॉस ग्रोथ टीम ने काम छोड़ दिया था, हम बैठ के कस्टमर केयर का सिर्फ रिप्लाई कर रहे थे. अगर वो 5% के ऊपर है, मतलब आप सोचो 100 में से 5 कस्टमर आपको रीच आउट कर रहे हैं, मतलब प्रॉब्लम तो कई ज्यादा लोगों को ही है, बट 5 पीपल हैव एक्चुअली टुक द एफर्ट टू चलो यार इनसे बात करते हैं. ये अगर 5% के ऊपर जा रहा है, प्लीज 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 लुक इनटू इट. आपका यू शुड नॉट बी स्पेंडिंग ऑन मार्केटिंग if it's more than 5%. Any questions? Okay, Dheeraj, hi. I think you have raised your hand.
Yeah, hi Prathamesh.
So, okay, I think there was some request that I move to Hindi. I'm really, really sorry. I keep
Yeah.
on moving to English. Thank you, Sharad, for pointing out. I'll move to, I'll keep it English.
I know you're natural at it, but no problem.
No, I'm sorry, madam. I'm more comfortable a little bit Hindi.
Yeah,
I come from a English medium Hindi speaking school, so वैसा है. Yeah. Okay, Dheeraj. Yeah.
Yeah, Prathamesh. So I was actually trying to ask you a question with respect to the customer experience connect itself.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at if you say total customer experience connect, then you have a lot of connects happening for the delivery part, the shipping
Yes.
part.
Yeah.
So do you take that into account as well? Because a lot of people are anxious to know where is my order, when it will reach.
Absolutely, absolutely. Dheeraj, what it says is about, are you anxious ever about Swiggy or a Zomato order once you order it?
Not much, because
Not
you're able
much.
to track it live.
Exactly. That's the whole point. I'm really anxious. For example, my father sent me some mangoes via India Post from Bombay to Bangalore. I was anxious when it's gonna come, what's gonna happen, because there were not regular updates on that. Whereas, for example, once we sent something via Blue Dart or DTDC, and they were giving me live updates, or for that matter, Amazon. If I go and check out on Amazon, if I made a purchase, it has reached Bangalore warehouse, it has left from Chandigarh warehouse. So I think it speaks about how well you are communicating. Obviously, you can't send 14 paise SMS every time wahan pe, telling him, boss, this is where it has come. But for example, if somebody wants to track, you should actually build a page on that then. If that is what is keeping it anxious.
So what my probably next question to relate to this would be that if I give a touch point of WhatsApp Connect, which is like a very easy way to connect, we get a lot more questions compared to if I just give an email ID and an IVR number, then you see a thing going on. So do you think all these things matter as well, and probably you increase the more connect points? Obviously, the connections will go up.
Connections will go up. I would not recommend WhatsApp. WhatsApp is really expensive. For example, if you are trying to send one message, it costs you 30 paise. And with the scale that you will arrive at, and even SMS wouldn't make sense at 14 paise. What I'll say is probably creating a landing page, and I'm sure Delivery, ShipRocket, or a few folks out there have figured it out, giving those updates wherever is possible via email or just sending a link, and they can just keep a track. I would recommend if this is like in not bringing down your NPS, it's a good to do thing. The delivery thing, because at Milk Basket, where we were delivering by 7 a.m., we never had order tracking, because morning 6 a.m., who is going to track the order? Where is it actually? So if you are in that where it's not bringing down your NPS, you should actually keep the NPS as well at a monthly level. Just check it. If delivery experience is something needs improvement, this number which should show you. What it typically shows us is whether we have the right product market fit or not, because a lot of people might talk about pricing, might talk about your product quality as well. So it's very important that you keep a track of it. And while I understand, out of 5%, if it, for example, in absolute terms, if 3% is just about delivery experience, definitely there is some scope for improvement there. But I would not recommend giving those updates on WhatsApp.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Prathamesh.
Hi, Aditya. What's the full form of your name now, sir? LD.
LDU actually stands for Let's Dress Up, which is our fashion tech
Let's
company.
Dress Up. Wow.
Prathamesh, my question is around the discount percentage that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So, like you rightly mentioned, is something we should regularly track. I'm curious to learn, what do you think is the right kind of discount percentage to have, so that you have the right balance between incentivizing a new user to come in to incentivize the repeats, but at the same time not burn too much at that level?
Loved it. I love this question, Aditya. Thanks for bringing this up, first of all. Because so this question, I think everyone, discount is the worst way to bring growth, first of all. And you, in your teams, if you have a growth guy, somebody digital marketing guy, that person is gonna drive your company growth to a rabbit hole. For example, once you started, you might be giving 5% discount or some cashback, and today you will check and like, यार 2 साल में ये 5 से 20 कैसा हो गया, 5 से 20 कैसा हो गया? Like, how has it happened? Because and it's people like me who do that crime. To don't let it happen, Aditya and others. So what I mean, what I want to say here, just try to use discounts as a lever where you are driving trials, but at the same time driving certain behavioral change. So again, going back to an example where at Milk Basket, we had a very unique offer that we used to use, which was like try Milk Basket for free, which was like you get free milk for 7 days. You come, you subscribe, and it was only on subscription. So first you need to put money from your own pocket. We will give that back to you. That was the whole idea. Because what we saw in our data was customers actually coming, those who were putting it on subscription on milk for 7 days, they get habituated. Unko aadat lag jati hai. See, this discount is actually a habit changing one. That is what is happening. Now, this is very important. You use it for reactivation, where I say, for example, we use a term called as DSLO, day since last order. Again, in grocery, where somebody who has not ordered for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, it's a long time, and this person has churned. Whereas for someone like, I said Devesh, where he was at very opinion, I might not buy t-shirts for example, every month or every 2 months. If I bought it before Diwali, Devesh knows Prathamesh comes and buys every Diwali. So next year, if he's not coming by Diwali, he will want to give me some offer there to reactivate. Now, in the second part, in the reactivation part, your discount percentage should not exceed 20% of the revenue that you are making. Like 100 rupees, you should not be contributing more than 20%. And these are numbers that I'm saying depending on the GM. Now, there are people who are operating at a 70-80% gross margin. If they give a 30-40%, it works for them. Now, it's a function of your gross margin there. So, and the worst form, what should not be done is, if there is an active customer that you have, those customers should not be given discounts. In fact, those customers should not be even sent a push notification or an SMS or troubling them. Actually, if they are really active, if they're really habituated, like that's the whole concept that you should have. So in terms of discount percentage, the answer to that would be, it depends on your gross margin person. So if your GM person is, for example, 70% out there, you can have a 20%, 25% kind of a discount out there. But don't use discount just to bump up your revenue at the month end, giving them the discount just to get revenue. Don't do that. Use discount to drive user behavior, to drive trials. Like, for example, I don't know, I haven't used Let's Dress Up. If you are into shirts, I'm assuming shirts would be probably might be. What are your products, Aditya?
So we target our target user is basically women only.
Okay.
Age group of 20 to 40 years.
Yeah.
And one of the primary segment is activewear, which is your athleisures, your leggings, capris, etc.
Okay. So for example, a discount might be very good. For example, if you're launching a new product line, for example, where you're talking about leggings and capris, sports bras, for example, if you're launching, probably if you don't have it now. And if you want to drive trials to that, initially you might be ready to give discount because you not need to build awareness. But I would not try to use that as driving a behavior change rather than just bumping up revenue. It's very easy. Build a cart of 1,000 rupees, here is 100 rupees off. Yeah, behavior change lao wahan pe. And easier said than done. It's very easier said than done. Yeah, Shelly.
Thanks.
Yeah, since we are talking about discount, Prathamesh, at the Earth Collective, from beginning we have maintained not giving discount. And at the max now we have started going up to 10%, be it on our website or any other marketplace. So obviously we do face this issue from our agency and marketplaces as well to give a higher discount, which we are not willing to take that route at all. So this becomes very challenging because many a times we even get, obviously the marketing team is for discount, but as a brand, I'm not for it. And apart from that, the customers also, since the beauty industry currently is just driven on discount. They come and say the same thing. We explain them the quality, this, that, but it's like nowadays no one wants to buy without a discount. So this is a very challenging route. But I feel, where does it end? If one brand is giving 30, we give a 40%.
No, I think that's a rabbit hole, and I don't think you should get into that, Shelly. And I love the brand Familiar for that. They don't give discounts. Very rarely that it comes.
If we say over 10% also, say for a Diwali or say a birthday month or something like that. So the marketing team is like 10% is nothing in today's day and time.
No, I think we will be those bad guys who will be pushing you for that. So keep a discount guardrail. Like the founders that have worked, they're very clear. This is a discount guardrail. You can't go beyond that. It's your problem, and you need to figure out. So if you've kept that at Earth Collective, and this is not just for Shelly, I think everyone, keep a discount guardrail, boss, iske bina, because I'm sure you guys have made projections. You guys have made projections ki is year mein this is going to be my marketing expenses, this is going to be my discount expenses. Please 1-2% apne pocket mein rakho, apni team ko bolo, tell your team that if your discount guardrail is 12%, tell your team that it's going to be 10%. Because eventually they're going to come and ask you for those extra 1-2% when the growth is not going to come. So whatever discount guardrail, whatever is there in your P&L, please convey to it that this is going to be your discount guardrail. It can't be beyond this. So yeah, that is on the discount piece.
Hi, Prathamesh. In the metrics, I just wanted to ask about, is there any metric that we do to understand the marketing bit every day, like an LTV value or
LTV value is something that you can't do it every day, Sainath, and I would not recommend you doing that because that determines how much are you going to do marketing spend, what is going to be your CAC. I think it should be a one-time exercise. You should not be spending time on that every day.
Okay. And
but retention is a metric where eventually it's like an input metric to the output metric of LTV. That is what we actually measure at an everyday level.
Got it.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. So moving ahead, now we'll come to the flywheel. I think this is everybody, I hope, knows about the Amazon flywheel, from where that's your growth is gonna come. And Amazon, for example, Jeff Bezos was very clear. I want to build the world's largest store. I want to have the largest selection. Why? Because he wanted to give the best customer experience. Once he starts giving the best customer experience, and once you start giving the best customer experience, you're going to get the more traffic. And if there is more traffic, that's why we all, as a seller, will move there. And this sellers will improve the selection. Now, the whole point about this flywheel is it becomes that big. Eventually, people come and they want to just stay on the platform. And this growth, how it eventually is helped by, is it drives lower cost structure because there are more sellers. This lower cost structure will drive to lower prices, and then you get the customer experience. So this is about how the Amazon flywheel, and this is one of the most successful flywheels in the world as a platform that has worked. As a D2C brand, somebody who is starting their own, you guys would have thought not today, but after 3 years, my customer acquisition cost will be lower because my brand will be known to everyone. I need not spend so much money. People will be talking about me, and that's how the whole P&L, the projections that you make. What I want each one of you is just spend those 5 minutes. I have a few examples of flywheel. I'm sure Uber, Ola, for example, we talk about Uber, Ola, which is very similar to Amazon. You have more users, then people actually, there will be more suppliers or more cab drivers who come. Then there's a better value prop. Your actual time actually falls. Initially for booking, it would be 8 minutes. It will fall down to 2-3 minutes. There will be more users. That flywheel. Unfortunately, Uber, Ola ka flywheel is now actually working the reverse way. There are less drivers, there are less users, and hence the time is increasing and it's actually going off. What I want each one of you, just spend the next 3 to 5 minutes on building your own flywheel. मुझे पता है 3-5 मिनट में होता नहीं है, but trust me, the one that you'll make 70% of the उसमें ना last 20-30% improve होगा अगर आप you spend more 1-2 hours on that. So I'll request everyone just spend 3 to 5 minutes on that. And again, the same principles apply. जिनका camera on नहीं है, they'll be asked to share it with everyone. Yes, I think a few of you have built. Divyesh, I'm so happy to see a comment here. In fact, while we are also building a pitch deck, I think we are doing this right now. Kuldeep from Anveshan, you will be the first one, sir. Aapko, I'll be asking you on the growth flywheel. And then Rachit or Disha from the Skin Q team. I'd love to know what is your flywheel. Third one, Sharad, you can pick up someone.
Sure.
Anyone.
We'll try Pooja from Lab Chief.
Sure. Any one of you, 3 of you, who wants to just share the flywheel?
So let's start.
Yeah. Anyone?
Pooja, you want to go first?
Yeah. So ours is an apparel, kids apparel brand. What I was thinking was, if we have new styles, our customers would do repeat purchases. And as they do it, if we are able to maintain our quality, the brand trust would build, and then they would come back for picking up the new styles, and that would continue.
1 sec. So new styles are driving repeat purchases. Repeat purchases are driving
Brand trust.
Wouldn't it be the other way around? For example, once your brand trust is built, hence you will get a repeat purchase.
Yeah, so it is like first you have one batch of styles. Like obviously we start out with a smaller limit number of SKUs. So when they buy that, then obviously if they like it, the price point and the quality is good, then they come back and then you need to have more styles. So so that sort of builds a habit then,
Okay.
where
so I'm just building it on my diary here.
Okay.
So it's your new styles, repeat purchases. Next, Saro.
Then that would build brand trust. If no, actually, after repeat purchases, you would have like they would like your quality and the pricing, and that would build the brand trust.
Quality, pricing, and then it will build brand trust, because of which then you'll be able to launch more new styles.
Right.
ठीक है, इसमें थोड़ा सा एक बार सोच के देखिएगा पूजा. मतलब for example, I love that where your new styles are gonna drive repeat purchases. I think one is from your repeat purchases, probably you might have people talking about you, where the brand trust that you're talking about, word of mouth might pick up when you get new customers, which will drive your lower cost, which we spoke about, quality, pricing. You get efficient, lower cost, and hence you are able to drive new styles. And probably you can think about it slightly deeper.
Yeah, something about if there are more styles then they would wear, and the word of mouth part.
Yeah, I think see that becomes more critical for you to get more volume or more sales wahan pe. So
correct, right.
Yeah, so yeah, I think something like the last one that you see, the proprietary tech, for example, this talks about tech, but if you look at a D2C brand here, where you have more customers, then you have a more experience, you're able to get more repeat purchases, your product starts improving on them. This one, the higher technical.
Yeah, got it.
Probably you can look at that. Hey, Manjunath, yeah, you were trying to. You're on mute, Manjunath.
Yeah, hi. Yeah. So I was thinking that, we try, since we are into eggs, so people is always talking about the freshness, and it's also, we don't want people to run out of the eggs at the fridge. So it's about build more subscription, and by which then by the more number of customers, I want to give them a better customer experience. Like in terms of lead time. So that is one of the key here, because right now we are giving them like a weekly subscription, and then even if they order, we take about 24 hours for them to deliver. So with the more growth, then I want to give them a better customer experience, which today all are talking about like 10 minutes delivery and 15 minutes. Maybe I will be more efficient in about like 12 hours delivery. But once I achieve that, then I think I can give them a lot of value added products. Like today, people are like, as consumers are getting lazy day by day, and that's why people are moving in towards this 10 minutes, 12 minutes and all that thing. So but I think there is a day when people will not want eggs, but can we deliver them like boiled eggs, and then give them a ready mix of like an omelette mix. You just have to put it in a pan and get it. So that's, I just want to drive experience, and from experience I want to drive the value added products, and keep that's my flywheel.
I think just one feedback on that, Manjunath. I think this looks more like a vision that you have rather than a flywheel. This is my first, for example, if you are able to drive more subscription, you'll be able to improve the customer experience. Absolutely. I think till then I am with you, because this is how, with your scale, you will be able to reduce your times wahan pe. But with that customer experience, that value add products, probably I did not understand the connect. I think that's a vision that yes, you want to add egg base, probably have an omelette, which you can deliver a hot omelette in the next 5 minutes. I would want you to think more from just a single consumer, from one consumer ke liye, how does that improve? Until customer experience, it was perfect. Today you are taking 24 hours. That lead time will reduce to 6 hours. That lead time will reduce to 2 hours. What does that lead to the next? So if you look at, if you're able to improve customer experience, more customers should come on the fold wahan pe. That acquisition part should come into that. Again, the word of mouth or referral will start playing. Once you have that, your cost will go lower, which you can then move it to somewhere else. So
understand.
Think in that terms.
Thanks. I understood.
We had one more person, I think.
We are Rachit from Skin.
Yeah, Rachit from SkinQ.
Rachit or Disha. These two from SkinQ. Yeah.
Yeah, can I take it? Rachit, are you there or?
You can take it, Disha.
Okay,
Disha,
okay,
go
all
ahead,
right.
yeah.
Okay, great. So for us, I think it would be economies of scale. So, when SkinQ initially launched, the positioning that we were looking at was more of a premium positioning. So, of course,
Right.
our price points were a little on a higher side. Also, our COGS, it was on the higher side as well because the quantities that we were ordering in terms of, the products was much lower and stuff. So I think now that we're 1 year into the business, the number of orders have increased. So now the products that we are going to be ordering now, the quantities are going to be higher, which means we
Yeah.
can work a lot more on the COGS and therefore, look at lowering our prices and giving a better price point for our customers because our average price points right now are anywhere between 750 to 1,250.
Yeah.
And when it comes to skincare and, the competition is quite large in the country and even the pricing that they're giving is a lot more competitive. So I think that's something that we could definitely work on.
Sure, Disha. I think very valid point, and I think this very relevant in the Indian market. We are the most price conscious market in the world. One suggestion that I have is as a D2C brand, all of you are competing with the Unilevers, Procter & Gamble's, Lakme's of the world. For the next, I think 1 or 2 years at least, comparing there with their economies of scale won't be possible. At the scale that they have, hence the cost benefits that they have. What I would rather, just a thought for you, as a brand, you can always command premium. You can always, if you have the right value for money or the brand proposition that the consumers understand. So while you are trying to reduce cost, definitely very good margin improvement. Look at the other side where you're commanding a premium and reinforcing that story multiple times why you're commanding that premium. To give that thought, and I would recommend you, all of you guys say, अगर एक घी बाहर अगर आशीर्वाद का स्वास्थ्य घी या अमूल का घी जिस प्राइस में मिलता है, we had a few D2C players in the grocery where they were charging 20-30% premium over that. And customers will be ready to pay. We all are building for the top 2 crore Indians and they are ready to pay for that. I think focus on that brand story. And from an economy of scale, I would probably ask you to think more on the brand habit bit where you can. So this is just a thought.
Been a dilemma as well, should we go ahead and discount or should we not? Because our products are dermatologist formulated, we have our own fees, and that's how we launched, keeping all of those things in mind. We launched with the premium positioning.
So
but
you should I would recommend you to focus more on the brand habit flywheel rather than the economies of scale. That would be my recommendation, because eventually you'll get a premium only for your brand that you're building. Nothing else.
Got it. Thanks,
Prathamesh. Sainath.
Time check. We have 2:47.
So the question I had is that can we have 2 or more flywheels, or it has to just be one?
No. I think one will be a core one, Sainath, I believe. Which, for example, I have seen typically one flywheel, even at Milk Basket or any other place. If you have 2, probably yes, it might be. But I've typically seen one work well.
Okay. No, because as what Disha was mentioning, for a skincare brand, obviously, in terms of your operations, your economies of scale makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But on a bigger sense with customers and front facing, the brand habit makes more sense.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. That's what I'm looking more from the consumer focus. Like when I spoke to Manjuna also, think that one consumer, how it benefits that person. Yeah, Aditya.
Hey, Prathamesh, I have a question related to the pricing part that you were mentioning, I think, previously. We've tried to experiment with pricing a lot. I think, like you mentioned, it's important not to discount also and then have the right price. I'm curious to learn, how do you think about arriving at the right price of a product?
I have a very traditional approach on that, Aditya. It's cost plus profit is equal to selling price. I have a very traditional approach on that. And that always has to be the fundamental thing. But I'm not putting the corporate cost or anything else out there. But if you're able to drive that, it works. That is how most pricing works. And like I'm saying, I've seen a lot of D2C brands focus on having fixed cross margin. We can't be going lower than that GM percentage. That a lot of D2C brands work with that approach, and that determines their pricing. So one of my friends runs a grocery company based in Mumbai. So in fact, wahan pe they do, while there were good days of funding, they used to use that software where they will see what is the tomato price on different platforms and then decide what is it. But they have actually now shifted to a very focused, what this is our sourcing price. Itna margin to banna chahiye, and this is what our price will be.
Got it.
So I would say with the current scenario around that, it talks about an infinite runway. If you have at least bare minimum cost price के नीचे तो बेचना ही नहीं है, कुछ भी हो जाए, you should not be selling. But a lot of companies have done that before. So I would say cost plus profit. I think that's the best one. Otherwise, you can do competitive pricing as well if you're in a hyper competitive category.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. So I think, we focus on that. Now I think this is where the part I move from very basic Maruti Suzuki Swift Desire to F1, Formula 1, Drive to Survive, Mercedes wale mode mein. So this is where we'll start it, and I'll try to keep 3 minutes, 5 minutes on that. Each principle that I'm talking about, we'll keep just one person who can, the first one who wants to talk can do. Usse zyada discussion nahi hoga. We don't want to digress. So quickly, I think this is one question a lot of your D2C founders have spoken to me. If you are focusing on building that organic community, daily posting, Instagram, you have a social media manager who is doing that. You're actually looking at changes, what the post says. Oh, wow, what a witty post. I'm loving it. My friends have shared it with me. Please stop wasting your time as a founder on that. Organic is dead on Facebook, and it's gonna be soon on Instagram. Please, please, please don't waste your time on that. These are channels, they are built on monetizing their audience, and they're not letting brands actually reach out to their audience organically. So don't waste your time on this. On Facebook and Instagram, that is what I'm talking about. If your bandwidth is like even 5% or 10% is going, please don't do that. Any questions, anything in that? I was at ICICI Bank at a time, like this period around 2013-14, we used to post, we used to get 7% engagement rate. And I was like so happy. 7% was like crazy. But this, within a year, I saw that coming down to 2-3%, and now it's like terribly. I was looking at the ICICI Bank Facebook page at that time. So any questions, if anybody's doing, please don't do. Questions? No?
If you notice now, the next 22 will all make you re-question your assumptions on digital.
So, kuch hai to please, anybody wants to cross-question me?
Yeah.
Prathamesh, I work on this apparel brand. I'm getting this much sales, or I am doing this. Please feel free to ask. Nahi hai to I'll quickly move. More than 5% of your time, boss, you are wasting your time as a founder. Chalo. Next one, I think extremely critical, very important. Boss, please invest in videos. Why this is important? You have a creative team or you have a creative agency, somebody who is sitting outside, you are paying probably 50,000 rupees to someone. Currently, in all your performance marketing assets, in all your initiatives that you're doing, video is the one that conveys the best story. If you're sending a YouTube link on WhatsApp, customers can see that and they will absorb the content much better. If you're trying to build a brand, all of you guys are trying to build a brand, you're trying to charge a premium for that. Video is the best way. Like all the tools right now, unfortunately, we don't have TikTok here in India, but if you look at Google, the way it has evolved, the Facebook, the way it has evolved, everything, your performance marketing initiatives are gonna be on video itself. So if you're building an in-house creative team, I'll tell you the structure. For example, at Rummy Circle, when we were, There'll be X number of content writers. For those X, there will be 2x number of creative designers. So creative designers who will work on Adobe Photoshop, those kind of tools, nothing much. We did not have a video editor. But today, if you look at all the companies, they're actually hiring in-house video editors who can generate video very, very quickly. So even when you're outsourcing if you're building your content, like, I think whether I have this or not, one sec, let me just check this. I want to share this as well with you. Okay, so what I'll do now, I don't have that sheet as of now. What I'm going to share with you is what are the creative requirements that you can, okay, I have something here. Yeah. I'll share the sheet again with all of you. So if you look at here, like all the creative requirements, what you should have on YouTube, what you should have on Facebook, 6 second or 15 second, what should be the aspect ratio, what other additional things that are required. I'll be sharing this with you. What I'm trying to say is it should be video first, whatever you're building. For example, if you're going ahead with a campaign, if you're talking about a communication idea, it should be creative first. That's the approach that I'm saying. And because this is what you will see getting a really good return in your performance. Any questions, any thoughts?
Can you show that Excel sheet again? Very interesting.
I'll share that with you. उसमें से कुछ data मेरे down delete करना है, then I'll be sharing that Excel with you.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had it on probably on my other laptop where I have actually simplified it for you. That was a master sheet that I had. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Any other thoughts or opinion? Nothing. ये कोहट काफी शांत है शरद ऐसा लग रहा है.
So two things. One is I think if they understand. Okay, yeah, Diksha,
yeah. Diksha, you're on mute.
So sorry, I didn't realize that.
First of all, tell me, what do you guys do? I love your name, Chaudharayan.
So Chaudharayan literally translates into boss lady.
Yeah.
We are into handcrafted textiles like saris and dupattas and fabrics.
Wow.
So my question is, in the first slide, you're saying that organic is dead.
Yeah.
But in the second slide, you're saying that video is the future. Now, Instagram is pushing reels. So do you think doing reels where the video is longer typically, or investing time in making shorter videos for ads is more profitable?
Yes. So I think this is one of the very big questions we have been debating for a long time, Diksha. So if you look at the digital marketing landscape, how it has happened is, I'm sure all of you would have been targeted by an urban company ad sometime before, air condition repairing, sometime recently about massages and everything they're doing. That's called a non-skippable ad, where they make you watch it for 20 seconds. Right now, if you go and check in your Google Ads account, each one of you can run a 15 seconds non-skippable ad. For larger clients, they've opened it to 20 seconds. Now, beyond 20 seconds, now when I say 20 seconds, the reason about 20 seconds is because they can run a non-skippable ad. They can convey a story in 20 seconds, which urban company is able to do. Beyond 20-second video length does not matter. I have seen with a couple of D2C brands, they've been running, for example, a 25-second ad, a 45-second ad, and a 1 minute 5-second ad. The one measurement way, how do you measure the efficiency of a video, is something called the view through rate, which you see in your Google Ads metric. A view through rate is defined as somebody who has viewed your video for 30 seconds. For example, you serve 100 impressions, out of which 40 people saw it till 30 seconds or till the completion. That's the measure of it, how good a video is, Diksha. So if a 25-second is there, so how many saw it for the entire 25 seconds? Because you get a skip ad button at 6 seconds. Yeah. There is a till 45 seconds, if there's a video, somebody who's viewed it for 30 seconds, So out of the 100 impressions, if 45 people saw it till 30 seconds, 45% is a view through rate. Same with 1 minute 5 seconds. How many people saw it in 30 seconds? I have seen in some cases the 45 seconder and the 1 minute 5 seconder triumph the 25 seconder video. So in terms of video length, the question is beyond your non-skip limit. Like on Facebook, there is a feature where you can run a non-skippable video within the story. That's again a 10 seconder limit on Facebook. On Google, you have a 15 seconder limit. Beyond that, your video length does not matter. So that is one part of the question. Second part, you spoke about Reels. So far, I have not seen Reels working as a performance marketing medium. So on Facebook, where they tell you about newsfeed, they tell you about stories, they tell you about Reels, they tell you about audience network, like in different components, placements that you're able to push the ads. Reels I have not seen work as a performance marketing medium. Now there is another school of thought which says in Reels we got certain virality, our video picked up. Like I have a dog, he has an Instagram account. One of his Reels had some 1.5 lakh views organically. We did not do anything. Pure luck है, lottery है, लग गई, ठीक है. I am personally not a believer in lottery या luck के ऊपर. मतलब you might say Prathamesh, I want to invest every day in pushing a reel. ठीक है, एक दिन lottery लग गई, so you will build a case study out of it. So,
Prathamesh, also on that note, in our cohort, in this cohort, we have a case study person on reels from organic reach perspective. Likhini, you want to share your experience? This will be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please, I think I am not a firm believer. If you have codified it, who is that?
Yeah, so Likhini from Indian ethnic
Okay.
Yeah, so what they figured out was like dancing. So they sell saris. So they started creating dancing videos wearing those saris. And at a very early stage. And then it's literally got a lot of like millions.
No, I think So I think this is where if you're able to codify it, Chaudhrayan, I don't even remember your first name because I love that name so much, Chaudhrayan. So if you're able to codify it, and this is something now, I was reading this book called Fast, Cheap and Viral by Ashish Chopra. He does his viral videos for Ixigo. He's a chief content guy out there. If you're able to codify your reels or anything on the organic part, please go ahead, please do that. I have not been able to codify. I've been able to codify a lot on the performance marketing or the growth part or on the retention part. That's when I speak about. So if you're able to do that, nothing like it. So did I answer your question, ma'am?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else has anything on that? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Video. Anything else?
I think
just one
information is making us clear, right? Like video is most important as opposed to like static image or text.
Yes. So I think that is what I would want to just emphasize, where your efforts are going, where you, for example, you're focusing on finicky a lot, how the creative is looking or all. Was pehle video bana lo. And one more thing, very important, if you can note it down, was video ke end slate mein koi offer dal do. Matlab your performance of that video increases by at least 40-50%, like the end slate. Baiju का ad TV पे देखा रहेगा आप लोग ने. He says get your first class free. Shahrukh Khan last में आके बोल रहा है. Any video that you pick up by a good brand, Swiggy, Instamart or Zepto or anyone, get your first order free, get 50% cashback on your first order. Please put an end slate with the offer. It improves your conversion rates by like 25-40% massively. So please do that. Don't miss out on that. Next one, very important, was before you guys start on performance marketing, you guys are talking about मेरा performance marketing में ROAS फट रहा है, ये सब हो रहा है. Please make sure that machines work for you. This is just small story. At Rummy Circle, our performance marketing team was like a 20-25 members strong. At Milk Basket, that team became 8 to 10 members strong. Other D2C brands that I've seen today, they have like 3 people who are managing budgets, and the budgets are increasing where I talk about. What has happened is Google and Facebook are actually moving, more so Google actually, they are moving to becoming a self-serve platform. You don't require an agency. They are doing the work for you. Let the machines work for you. So all the whole thing that we talk about, machine learning algorithms, artificial intelligence, These guys are really good. What, for example, initially when we used to do digital marketing, I'm talking about 2016, 17, we used to mention targeting in the audience on Google when I'm talking about 25 to 34, having, for example, a household income of this much, having a phone which price is 30,000 plus. And we used to put all these filters. Today, Google says, don't give me, just give me the location. Because location, like the app campaigns have moved to that level. Give me the location, give me the budget, I'll run the campaign. Why is it able to do is because it knows each and every data point about the users that you are trying to target. How is it happening is when you are able to pass the right data to Google or to Facebook. That's when they're able to learn much better. So that's why I say, if you guys have not done this, please take this table. Table का डिजाइन बहुत ही खराब है, इसमें लाइंस दिख नहीं रही है. टेबल डिजाइन कैसे चेंज करना है, बॉर्डर आता है, ठीक है. I'll change this table design. Yeah, I think this is better. Yeah, you guys can see now. Yeah, so take this table, sit with your team today, tell them for the last 1 week, इसमें डेटा भर के दो मुझे. What I'm saying is कि आपका होम पेज पे कितने लोगों ने विजिट किया, गूगल एनालिटिक्स पे जो डेटा है, फिनेंस का तो आएगा नहीं वहां पे, फेसबुक के डैशबोर्ड पे जो दिखा रहा है, गूगल एड्स पे दिखा रहा है, इफ देयर इज एन ऐप दैट यू आर वर्किंग ऑन, फायरबेस पे कितना दिखा रहा है, वो नंबर कितना है. टेक अ पर्टिकुलर डे, इट कुड बी 7th June, 8th June, व्हाटएवर. ऐड टू कार्ट कितना दिखा रहा है, फर्स्ट परचेज. नाउ दिस इज वेयर इट बिकम्स एक्सट्रीमली क्रिटिकल. आपका फाइनेंस में इवेंचुअली, व्हाट आई मीन बाय फाइनेंस इज कितना इनवॉइस फटा है, हाउ मेनी receipts have you generated. It's actual money coming to your bank. If your finance says, boss, yesterday just 30 people purchased for the first time, you can do a simple match, mobile number say VLOOKUP laga ke you can find out. Google Analytics, so if you're not passing the first purchase event, please start passing it out. Repeat purchase event, what is the revenue generated? All these things plus minus 10% I can understand. Beyond that, you need to get it corrected immediately. If you have a tech support team, you are working on Shopify, you're working on WooCommerce, or if you have a tech support team, make sure that this gets solved in the first place before you are moving to high budgets on performance marketing. Why am I saying that? Because what will happen is your agency or your performance marketing team or someone, freelancer, anyone, he or she will be optimizing on these purchase events. He or she will say, beyond this purchase, I want to optimize on the add to cart event, or I want to optimize a campaign for traffic, or if I want to do an ROS based event. Unless you're passing the right data to the panels, all your optimizations will go for a toss. Use this table. I'll be sharing this deck as well. किसी को screenshot या कुछ लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. आपके साथ भी share करूँगा. This becomes your first point of start. Any questions? Anything? And if your performance marketing team or your agency has not checked it or has not flagged with you, boss, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. वो दया बोलता है ना, CID वाला, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है दया then. Because this is like P00 or digital marketing 101. And yeah, anything, I would love to hear something. मैं कब से अकेला ही बात कर रहा हूँ.
Yeah, so any questions on this? So the takeaway is literally make sure you're set up correctly for measuring all of this across platforms. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
How many people are already set up correctly? How, if you want to show of hands?
Yeah, I would love to know that.
Yeah.
Have you guys done that before? Nice. I'm happy to see Deep.
I have a question.
Okay, I thought you have set it up correctly.
No. I have a question. So I just so what is the finance part of these?
So finance part is like eventually you yesterday say you got 100 orders. Okay? On Google Analytics, you're able to see, oh, I got $100. I'm happy. But actually, what are the actual like orders that your team got it? Like, for example, invoices that were generated. So what happens is Google Analytics is actually checking it basis the thank you page. So once you have successfully placed the order, how many cookies are fired on the thank you page? It measures via that. Whereas invoices, for example, from Razorpay, you have a Razorpay dashboard where you see, okay, 100 orders, this much money that I got. So finance is that I'm saying. So because what happens in some of the companies on Google Analytics, it will show these purchase events like, wow, 1,000, 10,000. But actually it's just 5,000 or 2,000. So that discrepancy it leads to a lot of challenges later on when you start scaling deep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 Understood.
Vijaya.
Hi. So I have a question. Is this then becomes your baseline? I mean, if you've not done it, then this is your baseline. And also now there's some conversation about Google Analytics going from there's some Google 4 or something which
GA4, yeah, they're moving. Not much changes. So yeah, so in terms of the first question, baseline, yes, this becomes a fundamental starting point for your performance marketing part, I would say. Because what will happen now, Vijaya, a lot of your performance marketing, whatever you might be reading, they'll say, you want to optimize, we want to optimize, you want to optimize. So optimization is what you're actually telling the platforms, boss, I want people who are going to purchase for me. So the right amount of signals need to do. So very simply, if I were to tell you, for example, if there is a grocery platform and it says I'm targeting people, there are two types of people. Imagine in the same location where I'm in the society here. There is my watchman, there is my maid who is there, there is me. Now, while my maid and my watchman, they will be consuming the content. Definitely, they'll be watching the ad. And there is a possibility they might be installing as well, the app. But looking at the price, they won't purchase it. Whereas I sitting here, I can purchase something like, for example, where we were talking about something being at a premium out there. I can purchase that. Now, what it does is I send back those signals correctly. Okay, Prathamesh has purchased a mango tree product. What Google does is it has all the data about me. Okay, Prathamesh is the kind of customer who has all these apps on the phone. It goes and finds 10,000 such people. So that's why it's important that you're able to pass back. So it's called post back the data that we said. So before you start doing that performance marketing, if you have this grid wrong, the signals that are being sent to Facebook, Google are absolutely happy that. So they are not able to optimize correctly. That becomes the problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dheeraj, I'll take you first, then I'll take Rachit.
Prathamesh, I wanted to know, is there a easier way to have this? I mean to say, how do you create this? Are there any bots that can create this report, or you said let machines work for you? So
let machines work for machines work for you. I meant let
this Excel for us and create a dashboard.
No यार, no, unfortunately not as of now. वो थोड़ा मेहनत करना पड़ेगा, but it's a very straightforward thing यार. एक दिन का जाके देख लो जो event मैंने बोला है. So these are events typically. I'm still talking about the first revenue equation, orders into AOV, where orders is acquisition retention. I come from that background at Milk Basket and other places. So for you should look at whether on your Shopify dashboard, it's a very simple thing, and it's very important that you are, if you do it on your own, and all 50 of you, if you're able to do it on your own, trust me, nobody will be able to fool you. Your team won't be able to fool you. So what I meant by machines work for you, let the Google machine learning algorithm and the Facebook machine learning algorithm work for you. Yeah, but
there's something I think in Google Analytics there's something called where you can actually visualize the report. There's something called as visualizer. Does something like that? Is there any tool or template or something which can be created? I just wanted to understand that.
So a lot of things that you can get it on Google Data Studio. You can visualize the kind of templates that you want. The thing that we spoke about, week on week comparison, month on month, you can create it on Google Data Studio, and it's in GA. It's fairly easy. You can just play around with that. I'll in fact encourage all of you, like the panels that I'm talking about here, Google Analytics, Razorpay, Facebook, Google. I think they should just be playing around with that, and that's how you'll get more confidence from that. Mahape.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi Rachit. Yeah.
Hi Prathamesh. Hi. So I have a very naive questions here, and I'll tell you where I'm coming from. These metrics are definitely very important because you correctly mentioned when you're spending a lot of money, it's important we understand which levers to pull, which are those levers which can help you scale up, and all those events. So my first question is that are you referring to the event score on Facebook? So our event score is 4 out of 10, and I understand not all events are being captured. Am I getting this right?
Yes.
Okay. So the thing is, we work with agencies, and as you rightly mentioned, that as founders we should know what's going on so that people are not able to fool us.
Right.
Now the question is, if the event score is 4 out of 10 and all the events are not getting captured, then is this Facebook team will be able to help, or Shopify developer will be able to help? Because I am not still able to figure out who exactly will be able to help to fix this.
Your Shopify developer. That's it.
Okay.
a Shopify developer, and it doesn't matter if you're just using 4 events. That's it. मतलब ज़्यादा complicate नहीं करना है. Too much data. Focus करो. मैं इसके लिए आपको I'm going back to the key metrics after that we were talking about. What is your one metric that matters?
Sure.
So if you focus on few events, in fact I'll encourage you. It's good. Few events पे focus करो, उसको optimize करो. यार मतलब सब कुछ संभालने जाओगे ना, you won't be able to handle it. That's it. Can I mute you? Can I mute you? Okay, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, you were saying something.
Okay, so one more thing is, is it better now?
Yeah.
One more thing is and for the same reasons, on Facebook, the cost per action is showing as maybe 500 rupees, whereas I'm not able to corroborate this data on Shopify. And for the same reason, the UTM links which we are using, Facebook is showing some different data, and my Shopify is showing some different data. And I understand this is an event, event score problem issue, because the event score is not proper.
Yeah, so what happens is that events don't get passed correctly from your Shopify to your Google Analytics to Facebook. So I think a Shopify developer should actually look at where the event is falling out. So that that's why I said plus minus 10%, it's okay. But beyond that, it should not be happening.
Cool, yeah. Sure, thank you so much.
Yeah. Hi, Apar.
Hi, Prathamesh. So quick question, Prathamesh, do we, I mean, this is one thing that I've been doing. Do we, for each of the channels for Google, Facebook, do we also track the percentage RTO that that channel is contributing to? I mean, does that mean successful orders in your table? Because that's the part I
Yeah. So actually,
this is all delivered orders.
Delivered orders. So I think a very good question, Apar. I love that question. So for everyone, for Google, Facebook, you won't be facing this challenge, Apar and others, successful orders. What actually this leads to the next part, no? I think this is where I want to highlight. You guys would have heard of affiliate marketing. There are people who will come and promise you, guys, will give you a cost per order of less than 500 rupees. Whereas your Google, you will see what Facebook pay 800, 900 aa raha hai, Google pay 700 aa raha hai, and this guy is coming and telling me I'll get it to you in 500 rupees. So Apar, I think this question is related to your. So on Google and Facebook, you won't find that bad quality channels or people who are ordering from you. What will happen is, for example, these affiliates where there will be people setting out, sending you in cheap. Your promise is, first of all, so they will not initially agree कि मैं cost per order पे काम करूँगा. They'll say, I'll give you cost per click. If your Facebook cost per click is, for example, 7 rupees, I'll give it to you in 50 paise 1 rupee. Then you'll say, I won't work on cost per click. Then you'll say cost per session. They'll give it. Eventually, once you come to cost per order, what these guys do is they have a very good network setup wahan pe, where I have seen, especially in real cash gaming, where our cost per orders that we were paying these affiliates were really high. They will actually keep these auto guy people, auto who drive in NCR region. They'll ask them to download the app. They'll make them play one game and then give them like a screen guard or something for 100 rupees. That's it. Now, a very crude analogy for you is, you will say, okay, I got an order, I'm paying them out. But you won't, if you start looking at it at a channel level, the returns will be really high. The average order value of these people coming from this will be really low. So I think this is one where the human level that is happening. But if you see now, there's a lot of bot traffic that they send on you. On Google Analytics, if you look at source wise traffic, okay, organic hai, theek hai, Facebook ka itna hai, Google ka itna hai. Isme you will see the traffic is really high, but my conversion rate is pathetic because they're sending the bot traffic to you. So that's why they can be a worse enemy. They screw up your entire metrics. Your website conversion rate will suddenly look so bad. Like, for example, once you go and talk to anyone, you won't be able to identify the right issue. Like a human who is going through, like your real conversion rate for organic probably might be 1.5%, but when you look at the overall conversion rate, it might be 0.2, 0.3%, and you'll be like, what is going wrong? You might not be able to understand. So if it is more than 10% of your marketing spends, was something you're doing wrong. Because you are able to see scale, cost per order, you'll be happy. Oh, 500, I'm really happy working this with affiliate. You're working with more than 5 affiliates. I'm talking about 5 affiliates at a scale of unicorns. Was all of you, I'm saying, you guys are emerging brands working with more than 1 or 2 affiliates. Was bahut ho gaya, nahi karna hai. And in an offline closed door conversation, I'll be happy to share the names as well with whom you should work. Right now, this is getting recorded. I can't say any name. And if any affiliate comes and tells you, boss, it can scale faster than Google, please just fold your hands, say bye bye, Tata. Nobody is bigger than Google.
Got it.
Thanks. So I think a very good question that we spoke about successful orders, because there's a lot of fraud that happens. And last one thing, guys, one thought I want to give here: any channel that you add, like you're talking about Google, you're talking about Facebook. Tomorrow you might do SMS marketing, email marketing, affiliate marketing. Attribution becomes very easy. Like they will say, okay, till last month you were doing 100 orders on Google, 100 orders on Facebook. Total you were doing some 500 orders. Okay. This month you added a channel, and then you see this channel giving me 50 orders, 60 orders. Boss, attribution is very simple. Malab, you can do last click. There's a lot of fraud that happens out there. Please think about measuring the incrementality. Last month you were doing 500 orders. You added a new channel, which is giving 50 orders. Ideally, your total bucket should increase to 550 orders. If it remains 500, a lot of times these affiliates actually cannibalize your organic. You're not getting anything. You're just paying more money. So please think in that, whether it's adding any incremental value to your whole customer value chain or somewhere. It's opening up newer audiences which you were not initially targeting. So these are your affiliates that typically work with.
Got it, Prathamesh. I have a very quick question since you touched upon attribution, something that I've been struggling with since God knows when. I've just been following last click attribution. Agencies say कि नहीं sir 7-day window है, हमारे यहाँ देखा फिर कहीं और जाके convert हो गया, लेकिन हम claim करते हैं. For me, and this is a very tactical question, but I thought I'll just get your opinion on this. Just to simplify things at my end and keep my metrics sane, I said last click attribution is what I will work with. What's just you need your two cents on this, or is there something more to this?
No. I think for everyone, is anyone there who does not know attribution or anything? Sharma Mat, just raise your hand so I can spend 1-2 minutes on explaining what is attribution. Okay, fair. Take it. You guys can put down your hand. So what is meant by attribution is simply, today, this is my website. I am spending money. I'm spending money on different channels. I'm spending on Google. I'm spending on Facebook. I'm spending on SMS, email. I'm doing something on my social channels. Okay. Now what is happening is there is some traffic that is coming back to my website or on my platform. Now I want to understand through which source it has come. So it could be somebody saw first, for example, my ad on Google, then he saw on Facebook, and then he clicked on the shop now button and then he came. Or it could be he just saw my ad on Facebook and within the next 24 hours, without clicking, he just came. मेरा brand का नाम याद रह गया उसको, उसने Google search किया. Or if he searched Google and then there was an ad and then there was an SEO link and he clicked on an ad and then he came. What attribution means is this: Google Analytics, by adding certain UTM links, you are able to identify the people who have come. For example, 10,000 people who come on my website, out of which 1,000 came because of Facebook, 2,000 came without because of Google, 3,000 came without because of SMS, the rest came organically. That is meant by attribution. Now there are different ways of attribution. One of the ways that Apar is talking about here is last click. What does it mean by it? The person who came on my website, what was the channel on which he clicked last? Well, it could be Google, it could be Facebook. Then Google Analytics says, then I will be giving the weightage to that. There is something called a first click attribution, where in the whole journey where he clicked for the first time, like our data tools are so efficient, they can map your entire journey from first click to last click, when did it happen, and then you came. So answering your question, Apar, most of the companies work on last click attribution. That is what you should be continuing working. 7-day click, 1-day view. Everyone please make note of that. जाके सिर्फ अपनी एजेंसी अपने कंसल्टेंट जिसको भी जाके बोल दो, it should be 7-day click and 1-day view. Anything beyond this, please. And okay, the only exceptions to that are if your purchase decision takes more than that. Go and check, for example, in your Google Analytics, like I think somebody was talking about the purchase funnel visualizer that you have. It tells you somebody who has come on the home page. For that person to make a purchase decision, how many days did it take? For example, he came on the homepage on 1st June organically, and he made a purchase on, for example, 14 June, hypothetically, random. In that case, your attribution window should be 14 days. For example, buying a car or buying a vehicle, your purchase decision typically takes 1 month to 2 months. There, the attribution window is typically 90 days. For purchasing a grocery, if you're selling eggs, for example, the way Manjunath was talking about, boss, उसके लिए इतना time नहीं लगता है. 7-day click, 1-day view is good enough. 2 days में आपका 80% conversion हो जाता है. ठीक है? तो in most of the cases, make sure it is 7-day click, 1-day view. What is meant by 1-day view is somebody who has viewed my ad today and within the next 24 hours, without clicking anything, if he comes on the platform, it's attributed to that platform. That's where the video thing comes into the picture. I hope that answers your question, Apar.
Yeah, got it. Thanks a lot, Prathamesh.
Yeah. Okay. If you look at the spends proportion in the way that you see, this is for a couple of D2C brands that I've been talking to. If you look at how the spends proportion has increased, so if you look at Google, it typically gives you the breakdown between how it actually spends between the description headline, the image, or the YouTube video. Now, a lot of D2C brands where I spoke to, their spends proportion, if you see between 2020 to 2021, has increased from a basic 25% till to 70% where it's spending on video. That's why I was saying you should invest in video first. At the same time, this is one percentage wise. The absolute volume also, if you see, this between July, August, September 20, between that year, this spends proportion has increased by 3x to 4x. So you can imagine how in absolute terms, video is driving your entire digital marketing. So that is the reason why I'm saying, please invest in your videos, get a good video creator in-house, video editor in-house who can do that work for you. Okay? Any questions?
Wow. Sorry, I'm asking another tactical question.
Sorry,
yeah. So, what we've started doing now is I now have a 3-member in-house team to just do content. Now we're trying to create a lot of interactive YouTube videos. Does it make sense to put those videos on a website? Because then you'll be driving traffic out as a channel on your website or as a section on your website, rather than a YouTube to website is happening, but website to YouTube, does it make sense?
Then I think you should be hosting it on website. So I have done very basic SEO that I've done. In fact, it is encouraged that you have your video on website. That is what is recommended so that people can spend more time on your website and it will actually drive more traffic. And if you can see, a lot of snippets on search today are video first, if you see. So I will in fact encourage you if you can host it on website. And I've seen a lot of recipe blogs, content, purely driven by videos on their own website.
Got it.
So I'll encourage you to do that.
Got it.
Yeah. Any questions? Anyone else? Nothing on this, on videos? Fair. So I think we'll quickly move ahead. This is a very touchy topic that I talk about multiple times. Probably there is someone who will be talking on influencer marketing, and I've always had this debate with Sharad as well as those person. I have never seen influencer marketing work. It doesn't give me the ROI that I want. Few cases where from cohort 1, in the cohort 1 when this slide was presented, the headline said influencer marketing is useless. Uske aage kuch nahi tha. My learning by the time I've come here to cohort 3 is I've seen it work only where there is 75% plus gross margin. That is the only place that I've seen it work. That too, why? Because once you are giving a product worth 10,000, it just costs you 2,000, 2,500 rupees, not more than that. If you're able to do that, the influencer thinks it's for 10,000. He gives you visibility worth rupees 10,000, not worth rupees 2,500. In terms of ROI, when you're measuring, when you have a budget, very limited budget, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, and an influencer comes and says that I want 50,000, boss, I would not recommend you doing that. मैंने इसका ROI नहीं देखा है. So if you are working on, if influencer marketing is still a part of your marketing mix, check your cost per engagement. What I mean by cost per engagement, he or she will give you what is the reach that has happened. He'll give you what is the engagement that has happened. In that engagement, check how many people have viewed it for 10 seconds, 50 seconds, how many people have clicked. check the cost per click and compare it with your performance marketing cost per click. If they are at par, probably it makes sense. But then again, the problem comes how focused your influencer audience is. For example, if you are trying to serve an audience of 25 to 34, these influencers typically have a followership of 16-year-old, 18-year-old who don't have money, just have time. They'll click all the ads, but they won't purchase anything. So just check how strongly the audience overlaps with your audience. Because India mein time bahut hai, these people are just sitting and watching videos, influencer videos, they're just following that. So for me, it has never worked so far. You guys can think about it. Yeah. Apar, go ahead.
Hi again. So can we subdivide this into Instagram influencer marketing and YouTube influencer marketing? Have you seen any difference? Because I have for my brand, which is why
I think fantastic if it's working in some way for you. Matlab, I have tried it specifically on Instagram, and it has not worked. But I've not got the ROI.
Got it.
So all the brand metrics, I am like I spoke to, for example, Let's Dress Up guy, where he was talking about how do you look at pricing. I'm slightly a desi guy, profit banna chahiye. So for example, even in here, very big FMCG experts have come and taught me it drives our awareness, it drives our consideration metrics. I asked them धंधा कितना आया, they say brand ऐसे ही बनता है. मुझे अभी तक समझा नहीं है. मुझे ऐसा लगता है brand बनता है. I think the way Disha mentioned, for example, that brand trust, or Disha or somebody else mentioned that brand trust. Oh, Nap Chief girl mentioned that brand trust is built when there are repeat purchases. And I love that thought, because brand is not communication, it's not advertisement, it's not that. It's about when consumer uses it. That's how the brand is built. Some senior, they believe in awareness, consideration, that funnel. मेरे को नहीं समझता है वो. So
Prathamesh, I mean, I would support Prathamesh on this side, and every time we have this argument with him. But the two things I think what Prathamesh is saying is, which we agree, one is if you pick influencers to run, sort of pay them money to sort of create, use them for their reach, that might not be as effective. And Prathamesh, and what we learned from the other session with our influencers is use influencers for content creation, which you can create as ads. So do it at a cheaper basis.
Yes.
Use them for the network is the distinction.
Yeah. So I think that becomes extremely critical for everyone. So today content generation is really expensive, for example, and I think one of the slides, for example, that you might be going out and saying यार content बनाते हैं, and you will see boss इतना महंगा है ये लोग, मतलब इतने महंगे कब से हो गए, मतलब सबने इतना रेट बना के रखा है. Boss, I wouldn't say don't go for big creative agencies. मतलब they'll charge you like crazy rates, 3 lakh rupees for an advertisement, 4 lakh rupees for an advertisement. ये सब बकवास मत करो. Consumers love the story. They don't love कहाँ shoot हुआ है, क्या हुआ है. मतलब this is like Licious का public videos, which videos has had. And if you go and check the quality of videos, some are very high production quality, some are like very basic, but that high production quality does not correlate with something that works really well in digital marketing. So what Sharad was mentioning was very unique. Was these guys, these influencers, they have a very good setup. They'll build the video for you. While you are signing the agreement with them, please tell them that we'll be using these videos in performance marketing. We'll edit it on our own. 20 second बनाएंगे उसमें, last में अच्छा सा insert डालेंगे, तुमसे बुलवाएंगे. There'll be a voice over. You'll say, hey, why don't you try out Perfume 24/7 and you get this lovely offer. ये सब बनवा लो digital marketing के लिए. But सिर्फ influencer को standalone देखोगे, बहुत तुम्हारा reach एकदम तगड़ा मिल जाएगा. धंधा कितना मिला, वो पता करो आप. Or while you're doing this experiment, I'll encourage you guys to do an experiment. 50,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees. Go and see on that day, the day that influencer has posted. The spike will normally lies for like 1 or 2 days. उससे ज़्यादा नहीं. 1 or 2 days में कितना धंधे में spike आ रहा है. You can directly attribute it to that. कोई problem नहीं. Yes. So and to the point, I'll say, मतलब influencer marketing, Games 24/7 had done at that time with TVF. They had some like with Rummy with dad or something. We did all left, right, up, down, all kind of analysis. Was नहीं निकल पाया कि हाँ इससे इतना धंधा आया. क्या दिशा? I know you're smiling. I'm looking forward to your question or comments.
Yeah, it was actually related to the influencer marketing and brand awareness. So you kind of almost answered my question. But say for a new brand, right? You're saying social media, the organic bit is dead. It's happened on Facebook. It's going to soon happen on Instagram. With influencers, we're saying that ideally don't maybe use them for brand awareness. So what else could you do to create brand awareness for a new brand? Besides, of course, performance marketing where you're pumping in a lot of money, is there anything else that you can do?
I think something that, in fact, I'm going to cover something long-term is something that you should definitely invest in SEO. People are searching a lot. You should generate content on your own website, build your email newsletter. We will be covering that part in that, Disha. So right now, I am slightly probably naive in that sense. I don't understand the difference between brand marketing and performance marketing. I don't understand the difference. For me, it's marketing. I'm showing an ad or I'm communicating something to the user. You don't understand whether it's a brand marketing or a performance marketing. You are, as a consumer, consuming my ad. Whether there's a shop now button or view more, you don't care. I'm trying to influence your thought process. Now, my slightly different thought process, my learning that has been is, if I use videos, I'm able to convey my story well. So one is the content part. Between a static and a video, I am able to convey my story well. Now that video, if I use in performance marketing, my costs are the same, whether I use it in performance marketing or brand marketing or influencer marketing. Consumer does not care whether I'm running a performance ad or brand ad or an influencer ad. If I'm able to influence the user better with a performance marketing and lead that to conversion, I'm happy with that. That's the whole idea. And there is one more thing, there is a small but out there. What happens is performance marketing, no, Disha, and for everyone, this will scale and plateau, where you'll see your ROAS or customer acquisition cost. Beyond that, if you pump in more money, you'll be like, oh my God, my ROAS fad gaya, it's going below 1 and all. Like, I can't run anything. I think that is the stage where what happens is Google or Facebook have exhausted the audience, where your frequency has exhausted, your target market has exhausted, who are going to purchase for you. That is the time when you actually start investing in brand marketing. And I think that is the part of, for example, where I wanted to talk about in an early level, where you have low, it's more about word of mouth. You as a founder are talking about your brand. People are coming because Disha has started SkinQ. That's why you see your organic will be very high. In a growth phase, your paid channels will start picking up, but then eventually it will plateau. Your organic is when you go to the fringe users and educate them on that. For example, a vitamin C serum, which is actually, I don't know whether you do vitamin C serum or not. It's available for 100 rupees. It's even available for probably Dermalogica probably sells it for 2,000, 3,000 rupees.
Yeah.
Right. So from 100 to 2,000. And what happens is, this 100 user, where SkinQ sits probably at 500, 600, you need to educate and get in there. A performance marketing one will actually go only to that 500 to 1,500 wala user. But once you want that 220 users, then once you start using brand marketing.
Okay.
And that is where, for example, in brand marketing also, that I was saying, use video, use 20 seconds, and we'll cover a little bit more on how do you measure it. And see, that's the point. It's very important, Disha, all of you, not just you, Disha, and all of you, you're very anal about each and every penny that you're spending. Boss, मेरे को reach awareness ये सब ना, मतलब what I've understood from my founder journey, हमारा runway ना 1 साल या 2 साल का रहता है. What I mean by runway is we give 2 years to ourselves. ये लोग ना ब्रांड वाले बहुत एक्सपर्ट है, शायद उनको ज्यादा पता है, वो लोग 5-5 साल 10-10 साल की बातें करते हैं. अपने पास 2 साल है, अपने को 2 साल में मचाना है, करना है. So we have to be very quick and we have to be very anal for each penny that we spend. We are building awareness today, consideration will come after 5 months. ये नहीं चलता है. And honestly doesn't work. From where I am coming again, I interned with Free Charge in 2012. When I was in my MBA, I had interned for like a live project. And that time I was working with Kunal Shah directly. It was very small. So we were talking about television advertisements at that time. So he actually told me, whether you run a 30-second television spot or a 10-second television spot, the spike that they saw in installs was very similar. Because if you look at, all of us are digital brands. A digital brand is, you show an ad, there's a spike, and you actually go and convert. this is not the traditional FMCG marketing. It says मैं रिन का ऐड दिखाऊंगा 5 बार, ये 2 पहियों का फर्क है, सफेदी है, मैं 5 बार दिखाऊंगा तब जाके वो बंदा दुकान में जाके लेगा. Obviously the purchase decision was delayed there, but as a digital first brands, if you show an ad, you're going to see the spike on the same day, you're going to see the spike in the same hour. There are tools that are developed for that. So the whole traditional philosophy of awareness consideration being built in 5 weeks, 8 weeks, I don't believe in that, but that's my personal thought. You can actually disagree with that.
No,
That's
sure. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is it. So I think influencer. So while you're doing influencers, each one of you, please check your cost per click. Please check your cost per engagement. Please check your cost per reach. Please check your CPM. It should definitely be better than your performance marketing because समय यहाँ पे targeting नहीं मिल रही है. If it's better, and second, the day you are doing it, you're seeing a spike in your numbers because the kind of scale that you are having, an influencer should be able to give you a 10%, 20% spike in your revenue. अगर वो नहीं हो रहा है, boss incrementality नहीं आ रही है, question yourself, experiment and move ahead. ठीक है? And guys, see, whatever I am saying, these are my learnings. मेरा एक caveat रहेगा, disclaimer रहेगा. Please experiment yourself. जो खुद से सीखते हैं ना, वो बेस्ट रहता है. वो एकदम ऐसा कॉन्फिडेंस में आके 50 फाउंडर के सामने बात कर सकते हैं. तो वो खुद एक्सपेरिमेंट करो, learn it for yourself, make your own truth. Like Shad mentioned, for someone the reels really worked well. खुद के लिए, that's your truth. Then identify your truth. वहाँ पे थोड़ा philosophical है, but identify the truth of your business वहाँ पे. So yeah, I think affiliates we covered here. Ideal mix of channels. This is something that you will see. Where I'm saying what I mean by ideal mix of channels. This is again going back to the attribution thought. आपका जो revenue आ रहा है, or if you're an acquisition focused company, आपका जो revenue आ रहा है, उसमें से कितना attributed to paid, कितना attributed to organic, कितना attributed to others. I'll speak on others. These are the 3 under leverage channels of growth, which we will cover in the next episode out there. I think somebody mentioned what is a good ROS to have. Will it differ by category? Hey Ashutosh, where are you? If you're here, would love to see you, man.
Hey, yeah.
Hi Ashutosh. Yeah, I can see you. I think this is a very good. This is a question the same. I think somebody asked what is a good discount percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's very similar. Yeah, discount percentage or your ad spend as a percentage of revenue is a function of your gross margin. How much do you want to keep? As a founder, you will always be greedy. Mera gross margin 50%, 60%, 40% होना चाहिए, या 30%, whatever that number is. You will want for more. So good ROS will depend. For example, personal care or cosmetics, like Disha was mentioning, and in that category, probably you can have a basic ROS one, which is really good because you're working at very high gross margins. But for others, it might not work. So it will be function of your gross margin. Yeah. I know we are overboard. I think this is 3:42. So this happens every time. So don't worry. We'll have a follow-up session. There will be an episode 2, season 2 coming in the next 1 week itself, where we'll be covering more such tenets, more such concepts out there. And yeah, Aditya and Simon. Sharat, should we stop here? I think.
Yeah, I think so we are at number 7, Prathamesh, just to remember the slide.
Yeah.
So 2 things we will do, because there are 22 we cover, and then and each of them is like literally makes you rethink your assumption, which is why we want to sort of give you enough time to sort of process that. So we'll do another session with Prathamesh to cover the remaining, plus those 3 under channels of growth, which he sort of talked about. So we'll take another 2 questions and we sort of close today's session, and then we will sort of say we will hit.
So yeah, before people drop off, you'll get the key metrics sheet, you'll get the deck abhi tak ka, you will get the assets wala sheet where I was talking about. All this only if you guys give me a feedback. Please, I'm hungry for feedback. Lunch mein nahi kiya hai. I want your feedback, how we can make the session 2 better. And it's for your own personal selfish goal. If you give me a good feedback, I'll be able to improve better. And the session 2 will be, if today is X, next time will be X plus delta X, much better. And it helps me become a better, I'll say, I understand myself better. So just one ask, Please,
Yeah,
please,
so-
please, everyone, give me a feedback.
So definitely give feedback, and I will vouch for Prathamesh. On the trust me, the remaining, the real sixers also, he's only covered 7. There are 15 more, and we keep the so I highly recommend it sort of to cover each of them, because each is
Yeah, no, I'll be covering, and I just want those feedback. So I have seen my journey with Sharad from cohort 1 to cohort 3. I have felt that I've improved. मुझे अच्छा लगता है वो, and it's purely because of the feedback that I got in cohort 1 and cohort 2. So today, trust me, my speaking words per minute is so slow. Sharad knows how we have been covering it in 2 hours. The whole session we used to cover it in 2 hours. Yeah. So yeah, first I'll talk to Aditya. Yes, sir.
Hey, Prathamesh, on the last slide that you were showing just before this, you mentioned the organic percentage to the tune of around 50% odd.
Yes.
I'm curious to learn what are some of the things that you've seen working really well, which help companies drive organic growth to the tune of say 50% or so.
So 2, 3 things. I think we covered that in one of the thoughts. I think with whom? Mango Earth Collective, where we were talking about focusing on that brand story, being anal about it. Malab, I would encourage you guys, malab, if you have, if you just go and see on YouTube, the way one of my ex Licious founders, Abhay, speaks about it. He is so passionate about the brand. And I think Licious as a brand that has evolved, it's purely because of Abhay. That focusing on that brand story consistently, harping it on. And it's one thing I say now, the brands से ना कभी बोर नहीं होना चाहिए. मतलब we become as, and then again your companies will become bigger. You'll get brand managers from HUL, PNG. They'll first they come and say, अरे हमें brand का story change करना है. Please ये बकवास बंद करो. लिरिल की लड़की आज भी पानी में ही नहा रही है. मतलब if you look at for the last 30 years, she's still taking a bath in the waterfall. Brand story बहुत simple होता है boss. मतलब it's the same. Lifebuoy 91 से लाइफबॉय जहाँ तंदुरुस्ती है वहाँ वो जर्म्स कोई है, अभी आके डॉक्टर बोलता है वहां पे. पिछले 20 साल से डॉक्टर ही बोल रहा है ना कि जर्म्स हटा रहा है. So I'll encourage you, please say the same thing multiple times. That's how the brand is getting built. So organic, one thing, yes, on the brand story. And as I spoke about that performance marketing, brand marketing wala bit, that shift on brand marketing is where you'll have your growth will come. Please invest in SEO from day one. Number नहीं दिखेंगे. Will be like, क्यों कर रहा हूँ? Why am I spending my 5% of your budget, 10% of my time? Please invest it from day one. Please, please, please. If you have a website, please do that. It shows the long run. After 12 months, after 18 months, it will come. Trust me, वो आएगा. तो वो करते रहो sir. Yeah, Sainath.
Prathamesh, you mentioned that when Disha said the ROA, ROAS. So Ashutosh mentioned that you said for a cosmetic brand or skincare brand, a ROAS of 1 also is a good one.
Yeah.
But in what sense? Because for us at 1 ROAS, we were actually bleeding money because we're not covering the agency's cost who's doing it. At the same time, the COGS. So in what way is 1 ROAS?
So actually my thought was, for example, your COGS are stay at 20-25% out there. Agency costs, again, this is one of the question that comes आगे आता है. तो मैं ठीक है अभी आ गया तो मैं यहाँ पे डाल देता हूँ. Yeah, this is one question that always gets asked. Agency was in house. यार आपका 6 to 8% से ज़्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए आपका agency fee. मतलब if your agency is 15-20% of your media spends, boss कुछ तो गड़बड़ है तो यार फिर से तो again तो renegotiate sir. थोड़ा सा करना पड़ेगा ये fight, थोड़ा struggle है. For big brands they go much lower than this. And,
okay.
Yeah. So I'm assuming your spends wouldn't be more than on media. मेरा assumption है right now 2 lakhs 5 lakhs उस space में रहोगे. Just give me a second. Yeah. तो एक बार फिर से सोच लो इसके ऊपर. मतलब एजेंसी फी अगर आपका रोआस में खा रहा है तो कुछ तो गड़बड़ है वहाँ पे. तो ऐसा है. Yeah. So I think that So yeah, I think that is it, guys. I think have a lovely Saturday. I love talking to a lot of folks. Aditya, Sainath, Disha. I love people who are questioning out there. So please, that will be my one request. My other cohorts have been very झगड़ा हो जाता था मेरा तो cohort के session में. I'm looking forward to some arguments next time.
Yeah, no, so that jhagda is still yet to come because there are a lot of other insights that are left. To be honest, Prathamesh is the only session we decided to sort of have 2 sessions because there's a lot of content to cover, which is very, very critical. We've reached a stage where acquisition is very, very important for all of you, right? And if that is the case, and sort of working with your own in-house team or working with the agency, these are sort of fundamental things which should be cleared and learned only from experience. What Prathamesh talks about is fundamentally sort of data-driven insights, which is learned at Licious and at Milk Basket and at Running Circle by conducting thousands of experiments over a period of time, right? I mean, a lot of young brands like ours in D2C, we don't get the liberty to sort of run at that scale. And given you learn from that experience, that is something which you can sort of build on now, right? That's sort of the core idea. So I hope that is fair, Prathamesh. That is a fair analysis on sharing that. But on that note, so 2 things, we want to say thank you to you twice. And you know how we should do that. Everyone who joined in, please turn on your video. I hope you can hear my audio.
मैं remove spotlight कर रहा हूँ मैं, मेरे को spotlight में नहीं रहना।
So Shelly, yeah, we put our hands in front and we do a 3, 2, 1, and then we see Prathamesh next week again. So we do ready, 3, 2, 1, go team. Go team, everyone.